Welcome to the Becca How-To series. I'm Jen Vaughn, and today we're going to be going over studio audio production. In this part of the series, we're going to talk about how to set up microphones, what selection of microphone you might decide on, and some typical common scenarios in the studio. In part 2, we'll go over the control room, including the audio board and what you should test before production begins. All right, let's start off with some of the gear here. Now you have to determine what type of microphones you'll need depending on your production. For example, if your talent's going to be seated for the majority of the time, you should probably use something like a wired lavalier. Lavaliers come in lots of different styles, lots of different brands. Most of them are condenser. Most of them are very directional. They're supposed to be about 8 inches from the mouth to where you place the microphone. And remember that condenser mics almost always need power. If your talent's going to be moving around on the set, perhaps you want to use a wireless lavalier. Now, wireless lavaliers have a lot of great benefits. Obviously, the microphone itself is attached to the talent. The talent wears the mic, which is connected to a transmitter. The transmitter always needs to have a power source, such as batteries. In this particular model, the Sony UWP, the microphone uses AA batteries. Always make sure when you power up, check your batteries and make sure they're full. Also make sure to check your connections. Make sure the microphone is securely attached. In this particular model, it'll screw on to the transmitter so that it doesn't accidentally get yanked out during production. Make sure that your excess cord isn't going to be in the way of the pocket, getting bent, getting jammed down. So when you're miking up your talent, keep those things in mind. Also keep in mind hair that might rub onto the mic placement, jewelry, or clothing. Now when you're working with a wireless lavalier, as I mentioned before, your transmitter always needs to be powered up. You also need to make sure that your transmitter and receiver are set to the same channel. Your transmitter will be worn by the talent, which has the microphone. The receiver, or tuner, will be set up near your audio snake so that it can receive the signal and send it to the control room. Make sure that your transmitter and your receiver are set to the same channel for every pair of wireless lavalier. When you're setting up the receiver, make sure you have a proper cable to connect it. Most microphones use an XLR. In this particular brand of wireless lavalier, the receiver needs to be connected with an 1/8 inch mini plug so that you can send the signal out to the snake. Let's take a look at the snake. This is an audio snake. As you can see, it has 10 inputs that will send mic signals up to the control room. When you set up a wireless receiver or a wired lavalier, make sure to send your signal from the XLR cable to the audio snake. Make sure your connections are secure. When you're connecting the XLR, you should always hear it click when you put it into place. And it shouldn't come out with a light tug. Make sure that when you take the XLR out, you depress the tab before you yank and release the XLR. And that's pretty much all you need to know. Determine your mic needs, send power to all your mic sources, connect your sources to the audio snake, send your signals up to the control room, and test them out. Check out part 2 of audio production in the control room. Let's head on up there.